Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to week one of our college football picks on Winning Picks Weekly. As always, my name is John Meleka. Catch me on the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, right? Knicks, Jets, etc. Period. Like and subscribe there. Also, that's where you can find this podcast. And as always, joined by the co-host of the Jets podcast. Greg, what's up, Greg?
What's up, John? Ready for week one? We're locked and loaded. We're doing 5, 6 podcasts a week at this point now. Emergency Jets, emergency Knicks, couple gambling, couple NFL previews. We got it all going right now. So we're in full swing. I'm ready to go. I'm excited to talk week one college football because it is finally here, and we have some
Dude,
great games to talk about.
things are happening. And speaking of emergency, you can catch the roster cuts on the Jets feed. You can catch Donovan Mitchell reactions on the Knicks feed coming your way. So crazy things happening in that offseason. But crazy things are happening in season too, man. We had that week 0, and before we get into all that, we gotta give it up to our boy Chip, bro. How you doing, man?
Not great. Really, really not great. Really, I was hoping we wouldn't talk about Nebraska.
I was going to bring it up. You just brought it up. I didn't say anything.
We just talking about week 0.
No. I mean, hey, I knew there was a chance that this would happen, and I was totally wrong about Nebraska. And look, a lot of people had to eat shit about them, and I'm one of the people that had to. So I took their over. I took them to win the Big Ten, and my God, I was wrong. After that first drive where they went down and won that touch and scored that touchdown, I was like, man, I was so right. Whipple is a great coordinator. Casey Thompson's a great quarterback. They're unbelievable. This team is going to take off and win the Big Ten West. And man, Northwestern came out in the second half and made adjustments, and Nebraska just played the same damn game in the second half, even though Northwestern adjusted and clearly knew what they were doing, and they were like, we're going to do the same thing and we're just going to lose. And then that onside kick was one of the worst gaffes in coaching history. Like, I understand.
It might go down as the biggest blunder of the whole college football season, and it happened before the college football season really started.
Oh my God. I understand what he was trying to do. He's trying to put his foot on their throat. That's what he was trying to do.
New Orleans Saint them up.
Yeah, he was really trying to, but he needed to understand, like, he was trying to be the smartest guy in the room. That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, and he's Scott Frost.
Yeah, but he was, he was coaching and he was acting like he's Alabama by doing that. And he just didn't have the personnel.
Alabama would never do that.
Yeah, but he was acting like he had Alabama's personnel. Yeah. You know what I mean? He didn't have the personnel to do that. And man, Northwestern is just really well coached. Pat Fitzgerald's a great coach, and they embarrassed him. And after that onside kick, that was coaching too, because those Nebraska kids were deflated after that onside kick went against them. It was they were done after they were done after that. Casey Thompson played like crap after that. It was over after that onside kick.
Yeah, so the conferences are wide open. You could still bet them on the apps. It's funny we were talking about the Nebraska game and how this conference is going to be more wide open after week 1, and here we are looking forward to week 1 here. And it's a clean slate, right? I had an okay opener. Hawaii stinks, so I'm proud of that one for sure. Yep. I definitely hit that
worst
one
team in the country, in the running for worst
bad.
Team in the country for sure.
They're so bad. But yeah, we're at week 1 here. We're week 1. We're ready to go. And without further ado, Chip, let's just start hot, man. What's your favorite bet of the weekend?
Oh my God!
Let's just start hot. One. Yeah.
My favorite one, as much as I want to say Cuse, I want to say Cuse. No. I can't. I'm not saying. I'm not saying Cuse. I want to say Cuse, but I'm not saying Cuse. I am going to say. Trying to decide between two.
Go ahead, give it to us.
Okay, I'm gonna say. I love the under in Bowling Green versus UCLA. I have under 56.5. The under has hit in Bowling Green's last 8 non-conference games. The under is hit. So I love that one. And I also, Bowling Green pulled that upset at Minnesota last year. They're 4th in Division I in returning production. They bring back pretty much the exact same team who did that. I don't think they're going to be intimidated playing at UCLA at all. I took the under on UCLA. Obviously, I'm not high on them. UCLA's defense stinks, by the way.
What do you have the number at?
56.5. I don't know what it is now. Sorry.
So it's at 57 now. I moved up to 57.5 and then back down to 57. But all of the money, the percentage of bets and the actual cash is on the over. So that looks good to me.
Yeah.
When we're talking about your best bet. Greg, let's just start hot here, man. Let's just start hot. What's your best bet? Oh, sorry. By the way, UCLA Bowling Green's a 2:30 game. If you're keeping track here.
I absolutely love UCLA Bowling Green. That was one of my best bets of the weekend.
The under?
So, yeah, the under. Yeah, 50,
okay,
I had
great.
56.5, 57. But I'm going with my other one, Clemson minus 22.5 at Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
I think we talked about this in the ECC preview. I think Georgia Tech could be the worst football team in college. I think Clemson has a chance to rebound and be national championship contenders. So 22.5, I think that's a pretty good number. And they got to come out and they got to prove it. So that's my best bet of the weekend on game? Saturday. I can look it up right now for you. I think it's a later game.
I think it's 7 o'clock because it's Monday, 7 or 7.
Oh, it's right? On Monday. I didn't realize that. Monday, 8 o'clock.
Okay, so that's why I couldn't see it. Okay, so that's a Monday game.
I'll give you a Saturday bet, though. A little contrarian to what people are betting. That's why it was one of the reasons why I liked Bowling Green as well. Is going to be Ohio State. The under 59.5. Right now, 88% of the money's on the over, 88% of the bets. I think Ohio State's going to have one of the best offenses in the league. I think Notre Dame's going to be pretty good by the end of the year. But I think Ohio State, Notre Dame to start the season, I think people are going to be conservative. I think it might take people a little time to get going. 59.5 isn't the biggest number in college football, but it's enough to make me look twice. So I like the under in that one because of all those reasons, but really the so many people being on the over.
Okay, so fade them. You're writing on your forehead for one of your best picks here, huh?
Yep.
That's so far the way to go here, whether it's Chip's pick, whether that's your pick, and that's all so far against the grain. And for my pick, I'm going to go Joe Schmo for my best pick of the day. And it's been bet up, and all the public is all over it. But I still love this bet. And it's at 7:30. So I know that no matter how the day goes, I'm going to be doubling down at 7:30 for this game. And it's going to be a complete chalk bet. And that's Mississippi State, which now is all the way up to 16. Dude, Memphis is a running team. And Mississippi State run deep. Like, I have this game. I also like the under, if we're being real. Like, if you want a really good pick, maybe the 56.5. Under might be a way to play because I honestly don't know how Memphis is going to score in this game. They're running into a defensive juggernaut, in my opinion, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State defensive juggernaut. That would be, man, they'd be really good if their defense was good this year. Really good.
Well, they're especially good against the run.
Yeah.
So at least we have that. And we know that Memphis is a big running team. So I think there's some correlation there. I like the under. I love Mississippi State. I hate that it got bet all the way to 16. But I think this might be an easy one from the start.
I like that. I didn't have it, but I do like it.
No, I didn't have it either, but yeah.
All right, so let's start. Let's start with. You guys want to start with the noon game? Do you guys want to go by time, or do you guys want to just go by bets or games that you're looking forward to, and then we can just talk about the bets that way?
I'm okay to go like in like a chronological order or whatever. Start
Yeah.
at the noon kickoff and work our way down.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I can kick it off, John, if you want. Saturday at noon. One of my teams that I really like. I love North Carolina State. NC State minus 11.5 at East Carolina. Worries me a little bit because East Carolina is one of those teams that I do like to bet here and there. But I'm rocking with NC State. You know, there's a couple teams that I gave we talked about in our previews and stuff like that. NC State was one of them. So those teams I usually like to take week one. So you'll see that as a kind of a theme throughout as we go through these games because a lot of my picks are going to be teams that I really liked preseason since it's week one. So NC State minus 11.5 on the road at East Carolina. I just think they outclass them.
I honestly,
yeah.
And you're talking about kind of starting on both sides here. One of the most important games of the week, definitely one of the most important games of Saturday, I would say. Rivals, right? I mean, my friends at East Carolina sending me clips all week of Russell Wilson interceptions and whatnot on NC State. We got Bam Knight on the Jets, so we're quasi NC State guys now, but we talked about their defense extensively on the preview. We do like them in the conference, especially to make a big push here, and it's going to have to start with taking down East Carolina. It got bet up from 9.5 to 11.5. It was all the way up to 12.5 at some point, so it got bet down a little bit. Everyone's all over NC State. I like it.
What worries me a little bit is I'm looking at the percentages, and it's like 80% of the bets are on North Carolina or NC State, both with the money line and with the spread. But then all of a sudden, if you look at the percentage of money, 60% of the money is on East Carolina plus 350 money line. So maybe those are just long shot bettors and stuff like that, or maybe those are sharp bettors thinking that they have something. So that worries me a little bit when 92% of the money line bets are on NC State, but 60% of the money is on East Carolina.
Yeah.
That could be a recipe for trouble, but like I said, I'm sticking with my gut. I think NC State has a shot to contend for national or to make the playoffs or to at least win the ACC. So they're going to have to handle East Carolina.
I think NC State has a shot to contend for the ACC and maybe win it too, but I think this is going to be one of their tougher games of the year. That's why I'm betting East Carolina. This is East Carolina's Super Bowl.
Yes,
plus 11.5, I think is a lot. I had to take it. Like, they hate NC State.
Sure.
Like, I was reading something. Jim Valvano, the old NC State basketball coach, like banned East Carolina from North Carolina State's schedule because East Carolina students vandalize NC State's campus after they beat them, like back in the late 80s or early 90s or something. They hate NC State. Like, the backyard ball is being played tonight. We know West Virginia and Pitt don't like each other. This is an intense rivalry too, because the campuses are close together, like an hour and a half away from each other. This is East Carolina's Super Bowl. They really want to win. They really want to spoil NC State's season. Mm-hmm. I think it's worth money line bet for East Carolina too, if you want to sprinkle some on there just to see if they pull the upset.
He's one of the guys you're talking about, Greg. Live in action.
if you want, just because you have the whole NC State finally has expectations on them. This is like the first time we really expect NC State to do something. Like, me and Greg both think they can contend for the ACC. I don't know. I don't think they're going to lose, but if you're someone who's low on NC State, like, this is worth, like, maybe them having some sort of shocking upset. Sure. This would be a spot for them to lose. This would be a spot for them to lose.
I like NC State for the conference too. I definitely have them in a couple parlays because, this is supposed to be one of their tough games and they're double-digit favorites. I think they're going to run away with this. Honestly, I don't know if East Carolina is going to score much against this underrated defense. And I don't think they're going to be underrated for too much longer here.
Yeah.
Jumping to, one of my favorite teams. I know, Greg, you were talking about this theme here. I know Iowa, it went bet up from 15.5 at open, and now it's at 20.5. I think they're going to kill South Dakota State. I was looking at the over, the 44.5, but I honestly don't trust South Dakota State to score, and I don't know if Iowa is really a run the table, run up the score type team, especially because they have an O line. They're gonna run it.
True.
They have one of the best tight ends in the world in college, in my opinion. So I like Iowa all year, but I think Iowa's gonna come out at home and absolutely wipe the floor with South Dakota State. So I can't love 20.5, but I definitely like 20.5 here.
Yeah, I think they'll win, but I'm waiting for Iowa State next week to bet on that one. Yeah. That one I'm definitely betting on. So this one, Iowa's weird. You kind of alluded to it. Like, I don't know. They play so slow. I wouldn't be surprised if they won by like 10 or something just because they like the ball control. And
South Dakota State is tough.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're terrible. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know.
They need impressive wins. They need impressive wins if they want any chance.
Yeah. Now that we know Nebraska stinks, I mean, Iowa may be the favorite to win.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
and then they might have championship in their eyes.
But that's the thing. Do they care about impressive wins? Iowa? I feel like they just don't care. Their coach, they don't care.
It all matters at the end of the day. You just don't. It can't be close. I guess is what it is. Less more about impressive wins. It just can't be close. Can't be a bad win. I think is more of the issue.
No. You're right.
You got any thoughts here, Greg? Before we move on to
No, I think you're spot on. I agree with Chip. A little worried about Iowa State next week, so maybe it's a little bit of a letdown spot for them. But I don't think you can really have a letdown spot week one, or a look ahead spot or whatever. I think they're focused on week one, handling business. I think the whole season's in front of them. So yeah, I like the pick.
Just one more noon game for everyone. App State money line against North Carolina. I know this is a popular one, but Sean Clark in the Sean Clark era, App State's head coach, they're 11-1 at home, and in their last 31 games at home, they're 28-3. App State doesn't lose at home. Yeah, they're going to win. I can't believe Carolina's playing at Appalachian State. This is maybe other than Bowling Green, my favorite bet of the day. App State money line against Carolina.
So does the week 0 game affect that in any capacity, Chip?
Even if Carolina had blown out whoever they play, I don't even remember. I still would have bet App State, but that for sure affects it. Yeah, now we know Carolina's defense still sucks. So I think for sure. I think App State is probably gonna finish even better too. I think they could win the Sun Belt. So I love App State in this one, but a lot of people do now.
All right. I like the over. Greg, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I like App State. I think it's a little bit of a trendy pick, but I think North Carolina didn't look too impressive.
That's the thing. So, last week was
I know.
I liked App State last year. Do you remember? Do you know returning wise who's returning for App State? I think I liked them last year. Right, they were contending with Coastal Carolina for the conference.
No. They were good last year too. Yeah, they were good last year.
Yeah, so I can't remember who's returning for them. I don't know if their quarterback's back.
It moved from -3.5 to -1 after last week's game. It moved to even for a second. They were even +1 for a little bit. Back to -1 for North Carolina. I'm definitely not going to bet this game, but it is another interesting noon game, right? There's going to be fun ones to watch, like Michigan at home. I'm not touching that unless I'm putting it in a parlay. Right, -30.5. What am I going to do with that?
The whole thing with the quarterbacks, Michigan's weird to bet right now. I'm staying away from them.
Yeah, same.
All right, moving on to the afternoon. Unless anyone has anything else, the 12. Are you guys anyone taking A&M at 30.5 or anything crazy like that?
No.
I'm taking Rutgers.
Richmond, Virginia.
I'm taking Rutgers. Rutgers +7.5.
It's at 7 now, and I kind of like BC, but I didn't want to say it to you because I know
Rutgers in their last 8 games as a road dog is 7-1.
Okay,
there you go. NBC's overrated.
That's strong.
All right, keep it. We'll talk next episode about how that went. I'm sure it's not going to go too good.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure it's not going to go too good for you. I'm sure I'll text you. early Saturday afternoon. But
Noon
Greg,
games are good.
yeah, they are because then you're staring at the afternoon slate, and there's some optimism here. Greg, where's your where are you looking for some optimism in the afternoon game? I know what the game that I'm looking forward to the most, but where's the optimism you're looking for if you're down bad after the noon game?
I mean, so we talked about it a little bit. Again in our preview episodes, I like Arkansas. I think Cincinnati lost a lot of people this year. I think Arkansas had some program stamping wins last year that they're looking to build on. Didn't bring a lot back on defense, so they're gonna have to focus on that defense. But 7 on offense, including the quarterback. I like them, rushing the ball. Fun fact, Arkansas 5-0 last 2 years in September against the spread. I think the opening line for this was 2. I think it's now, 6.5? So it's moved quite a lot.
So I was about to say, I have some bad news for you, Greg.
Yeah.
It went from 7.5 to -6.5, and all of the bets and the money is on Arkansas, which is what we like to call in the biz reverse money line movement. And that's a big no-no.
Well, so at least I'm seeing it open at 7. It moved to 6.5. To me, that's not like a ton of movement to be really worried about it. Money line wise, though, I see 55% of the money on Cincinnati. 55% of the bets on Cincinnati. So, I'm not too worried about the movement yet. If it moved 2 or 3 points, maybe I'd be a little concerned about it. Because I do see 70% of the spread bets on Arkansas and 60% of the spread bets on Arkansas. So if it moved a little bit more, I'd be worried. But for me, under a touchdown at home to start the season, like I said, I think Cincinnati loses a lot. I'm not sure exactly who they're going to be replacing. Number 4 pick Sauce Gardner, Desmond Ridder, Kobe Bryant. I mean, they lost a lot of people all around. So a couple linebackers here and there. So I think they lost a lot. I don't know if Cincinnati is one of those programs yet that can rebuild right away. I think it might take a couple classes, a couple years to really rebuild. So give me Arkansas, even though I'm laying 6.5. It's under a touchdown. SEC at home to start the season.
Scary. What do you think, Chip?
I took Cincy plus 6.5, and I just wrote no. I don't have any analysis. I just wrote no respect under the for Cincy. That's all I wrote, and I just think that Arkansas is so overrated. People are treating them like they're some top tier SEC team. Like it's Arkansas. I just don't see it. I think Luke Fickell is the better coach. I think Cincy is they lost a lot. I'm trying to bring up their returning production rankings here, but I don't know, man. I don't, maybe I'm just fading Arkansas and I don't see it with them. I know that since he's going to be starting a new quarterback, I know they lost a lot on defense, but I don't know, maybe I just have more confidence in them because of their reputation. And, Arkansas, I know they had a good year last year, but they kind of started hot and then faded. I think they got pummeled by Georgia, right?
Yeah, they
and then
did.
Came down to earth.
A little bit, but I think they still had a win against Mississippi State after that, and then a win against Penn State to end the season.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, Cincy 108th in returning production on defense. So they are replacing a lot, obviously, as we know, but 36th in returning production on offense. So I know they have 2 really good tight ends coming back. So they have a new quarterback, but another team who, by the way, hasn't announced their starting quarterback, which is infuriating. But
Speaking of Rutgers, didn't either.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. They should just announce Wimsatt as the quarterback he should be playing. But yeah, I think the offense will be okay. Should be fine. I don't know. Maybe I just have too much confidence in Fickell and for the defense to be good. And I know it's on the road at Arkansas. I think 6.5 for Cincy. There's a reason they're still the favorite to win their conference. People have a lot of faith in them for a reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm scared of this game.
One last thing that stuck out to me, John, before we move on, 98% of the money's on the under 54. It's down to 52.5. Still has 98% of the money. 52. So, yeah, it's moving down.
Could be sloppy. Could be a sloppy game.
Yeah, so points might be
I
a
could see.
premium.
I kind of like that under.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go. Let's just go to one of the I've been giving Chip some slack here. From week 0, already projecting some slack. I'm going to give him about Rutgers for week 1. So I'll put myself on the plank here because this is the do or die game here, the Chick-fil-A kickoff here. If you're listening to the preview that we had, and honestly, this could change the entire season. Like we talked about how Nebraska that loss changed the conference, right? And it opens it up for somebody like Iowa, which I was hyped about, which is why I took them early on to win the conference because of something so silly like losing a week 0 game in Ireland. This game, it's BS that the Chick-fil-A kickoff is quote unquote on a neutral field where Georgia plays it every single year, and it's in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. This is not a neutral game. This is at Georgia. Okay, and 17 points is insane for me. Listen, 5 first-rounders. 5 from Georgia. Like, come on, dude. 17 points. Like,
including the first overall pick.
And the coach is on Oregon now. Plus, I know everyone's joking about it, but Bowie Nix, like, I don't know. There's something to be said about revenge for especially for college football coaches, college football quarterbacks. If they don't win, right, that would be crazy if they pull off the upset at plus 570. And obviously nobody in the country thinks it's going to happen, and it will ruin everything, right? However, this would be the game for them to at least cover. And listen, it's not catastrophic for Georgia. I think that because it's the first game of their season, they could say, oh, we forgot about it. It was a bad loss. You know what I mean? And Oregon, turns out to be pretty good. Like, say they run the table after Georgia. Georgia could still make the national championship. You know what I mean? Even if they don't win the SEC. So I don't think the season's technically over if Georgia loses this game. But if Oregon wins this game, for them, national championship is in their eyes. So I just think it's such a huge implication game for Oregon. They have a lot on the line for pride and for actual money and for standings and for everything. I love the plus 17. I'm sorry to say. I just love, and I love that the public's all over Georgia. I understand why, but I love plus 17. I absolutely love it.
I hate this game.
Yeah.
So I hate it because I have no idea what Georgia is. Georgia's dominated recently. They won the championship, but are they at Alabama's level where they can win the championship, lose a bunch of guys the first round, and then just reload the next year and dominate again? Like, we haven't seen that level of dominance from them yet. Like, that's a new thing. So I kind of want to watch it first to see if they're that good again. And you're kind of implying that, where you think they're not on that level. If you think Oregon's going to cover against them, and I maybe tend to agree with you on that. Like, we're giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're just going to light up a pretty solid team by 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
I promise you, Chip, this is going to be one of those games we're going to be staring at 5 o'clock and be like, oh my God, is Georgia going to pull the upset? And I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen or not, but I know at some points in this game, people's fists are going to be clenched. Like, if you're rocking with Georgia all year, if you got futures on them, your fist is going to be clenched at some point in this game. I think in the second half.
It's too early to bet on 115th in returning production on defense. By the way, that's a lot. That's low. I
just don't know if it's going to happen. The only other problem here is Oregon. Yes, they had a good recruiting class, but they're still playing with last year's players, right? They're so I don't know. You guys know my thoughts here. Where it's kind of like Greg, where there's some emotion behind it. Where I have a rooting interest in Oregon, but I'm not going to be devastated if they lose. Greg, what do you got here?
You were saying a lot of the people are taking Georgia in this. I see 88% of the money on Oregon plus 17, 66% of the bets on Oregon plus 17.5.
I have it on Georgia. I have 82% of the money on Georgia on the spread.
Right. Well, that's why we get here and talk it out, because one of our sites is wrong. We have to figure out which one.
Yeah. On the money line, On the money line, you're right. It's on Oregon, but on the spread, it's all over Georgia.
I don't see. I don't see that.
82% of the money and 67% of the bets.
What site are you looking at?
This is a pretty reliable site.
I was looking at Action.
I'll send it to you.
We're all looking at different sites.
So yeah, what do you have, Chip? What do you have?
VSIN, Visin, whatever it's called. So I have different numbers than you guys do.
What do you have though? What are the numbers? Do they say who's getting more bets, Oregon or Georgia on the spread?
I just reloaded it to try and get it to.
Because this is going to affect my bet big time.
All right, so while we have some dead air here, and Chip pulls that up, and you say it's going to affect your bet here.
Georgia has more money, 61%, 56% of the bets.
Oh boy! All right,
well, 10% on his, yeah.
All right, well, this site's definitely something's up here. Then give me the under. I like under 52.5.
Okay.
I like under 52.5 in this one just because I think Georgia's defense is going to be okay. I think, again, both these teams might come out a little slow. There's a lot of moving parts at Oregon. And with Georgia, to be frank, Georgia's a big program. I think that they can reload, to Chip's point about, are they on the Alabama level? I think that they are at this point. Maybe not to the same degree, but they don't need to be the same degree to still cover these spreads. I mean, I was just looking at Georgia's record last year. They started out winning games 10-3, 56-7, 40-13, 62-0, 37-0. I mean, you can still hit the under and you don't have to kill someone 37-0. So, I think Georgia's going to be a little down this year, but again, their defense was once in a generation last year. You can still have a great defense. So under 52.5 in this game for me.
All right, just to keep the same theme, 65% of the bets are on the under. Anything else for the 3 o'clock games? There's still a lot of good ones out here. Are you guys touching Tulsa, Wyoming?
Wyoming sucks. That's all I have to say. I'm not betting on that game. They're terrible. But
okay, all right. Anything on Houston, UTSA?
I'm fading Houston there.
Interesting. It's kind of one of the games I like, man. Houston was so good last year, and I feel like they fell under the radar. And UTSA
Cupcake schedule last year.
You don't think they cover 4.5?
Really?
They're on the road. UTSA is a tough place to play.
What do you
think,
This is Greg?
A big game for them.
I was thinking about putting a unit on it.
Yeah, I did.
It's like one of those games I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Houston. I want to tune in.
Yeah, I didn't really look too much into it because I had 2 plays at the 3:30 window. I like Houston year in and year out. Who's that? Is that Dana Holgorsen there at Houston?
It's Holgorsen.
I like him. To Chip's point, maybe they did have a really easy schedule last year. I'm trying to pull some UTSA. I mean, UTSA I think is going to have a pretty good year this year, so 4 points isn't a ton.
They won 12 games last year, UTSA, but they lost their running back went to the NFL.
Yeah. Home as a favorite, 7 more, underdog of 7 or less points. Yeah, I mean, I could see with UTSA. I mean, a year or 2 ago, Houston was my team to just upset people, and they were doing a great job of it.
Is that Ed Oliver? Or is that the year after?
I can't remember.
I remember once Ed Oliver got there, we were all over them. And that's the year that they were like almost undefeated.
Yeah, I think this is a matchup of 2 strong teams. What's the over-under in this one?
I have it now at 62. It moved down from 62.5, but it opened at 59.
Yeah, I mean, I think Houston has a pretty good offense, pretty good defense. I like Houston this one.
Yeah, this is a Jersey game for me too, man. I'm taking Houston.
Yeah.
I like Houston. I'm not going to touch Miami, even though I love them, but they're 52.5.
Yeah.
As much as I want to ride Nebraska here, 21.5 is too much after what the hell I just saw last week. Are you touching them, Chip?
Not ever again for the rest of the season. I don't think I will. No.
Okay. So I have another chalk game, and I want to see what you guys think about this one. because it's been on my mind, but the line movement scaring me. Everyone loving them scares me. But my heart and my brain actually still like it. That's BYU at USF. And I went from -12 to -10.5, but I feel like everyone's on BYU.
I don't know. I feel like BYU is a very trendy pick to do a lot of damage this year. So that's kind
what
of
I'm
surprising.
saying.
Maybe like
Yeah.
an NC State kind of thing there
Yes,
where
yes.
USF has gotten USF's not terrible anymore. They were bad for a long time, but
That's a great comparison, actually.
Yeah. BYU's got high expectations this year too. I feel like
little USC in there too.
USC against
USC
Rice?
vibes. No, it just gives
Oh,
me
USC vibes for BYU.
Yeah, for BYU, yeah.
I don't know. BYU's got pretty much their entire team coming back.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think expectations are so high. Plus, they're always pretty much consistently good to win like 9 or 10 games, BYU.
Are you guys touching this? Am I silly for taking the 10.5? Am I Joe Schmo here?
I don't think so. I don't know, man. BYU's always good. It's hard to bet against them for me.
I don't think you're crazy for betting it. I just don't know if I would. But I think BYU is a pretty tough schedule, so I think if BYU is gonna win, they're gonna have to win the games they're supposed to win. They're supposed to win this game. I see again. I don't know how reliable my site is now. This Action Network stuff. I don't know if I can count on it. I see a lot of the money on South Florida. So I see 75% of the money.
I have that too.
For the spread, okay, is on South Florida.
70%.
But then I see only 32% of the bets are on South Florida.
The exact number, 32%.
So that, again, indicates to me that sharp money's coming in on South Florida. So that's what worries me a little bit. Maybe BYU has a down year. Like I said, they have a tough schedule. So
the line's moving the wrong way. Shouldn't go from 12 to 10.5. That's why I feel like a complete Joe Schmo betting this.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't
might be a stay away. It might be a stay away. Maybe a first half, but yeah, this feels like a Joe Schmo. I feel like I know I'm going to lose before I even put it in. I have a fade bet here, but the line movement's crazy after last week's game. I told you guys Nevada stinks. I know they won last week, but they stink. And they went from -9.5 to -1.5, and everything's on Texas State. And I mean everything is on Texas State. I want to be with them. I want to be with the people. But like that scares me. I can't join.
Did you watch any of that game, Nevada?
Yeah, they stink.
I watched that game. They got outscored in the second half.
They're so bad, man.
They couldn't move the ball.
I felt so validated. They are horrible.
They're really, really bad.
I know. But what about, I don't know anything about Texas State if I'm keeping it real.
No, I don't know anything about them either.
Yes, that's why I'm just literally fading Nevada. I'm keeping it completely real. So I don't want to touch this game, and too many people are on Texas State because I feel like they're all in the same boat as me, so I'm not going to touch it. But man, I can't wait to fade Nevada for a while.
Yeah.
Anyone have any thoughts on like that, like going on before the 7:00 Utah Florida game, which obviously I can't keep my eyes off. The Georgia Oregon and Utah Florida, I cannot keep my eyes off those games. But any other games before we get into the 7:00 slate?
No, I think I have a couple 7:30 games, and that's it.
I have a big one. I know we did our best bets in the beginning here, but if you're listening, one of my best bets is at 7:00, and it's not the Utah Florida game. But I want to talk about the Utah Florida game. I know where you guys feel about Utah. The whole world loves Utah. I haven't heard one bad word about Utah. Have you heard one bad word about them from any legit pundit?
Yeah, I've been hearing people love Florida in this spot now too.
No, just in general, not love Utah. Everybody's telling me Utah's gonna be the best team.
I've heard both. I've heard people say that Utah's great, but I've also heard that people that they stink. So, or they don't stink, but they're a trendy pick, and that's why you shouldn't pick them. I've heard that a lot.
Because they never did it before.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Where are you guys leading in this game?
Utah. All the way.
70% of the bets and 70% of the money.
Yep. It is what it is.
From +1.5 to -2.5.
Yep. I mean, like I said, I have them a million different ways. If I like them to start the season, I like them week 1. unless they're playing like Alabama.
At the Swamp?
Yeah, at the Swamp. If you're going to play at the Swamp, this is the time to play at the Swamp.
Yes, I agree with that for sure. I agree with that for sure.
Week 1, try to catch them sleeping a little bit. So, yeah, give me Utah all the way. If Cam Rising's going to do it, Cam Rising's got to do it on the road in Florida. It's a beautiful place to play. Let's get it done.
What do you think, Chip?
I'm not betting the spread in this one. I'm taking the under here. Under
51.
51.
Move from 52 and a half over to 51. It looks like it's 50-50, but the amount of money is more on the under, that's a good look. I like that. Under 51. I kind of like that. And so you kind of don't have to touch this game because I kind of think Florida has a chance to upset Utah. But if I don't like or feel lean either way, the under might be a nice pick here, man. I kind of like that.
I like it. Utah is notoriously starts out slow, even when they're having a good year. So I think they could possibly start out a little slow, even though I like them. Yep. And Florida, new coach, new personnel. Anthony Richardson, people are high on him, but bottom line is his sample size is small and he's playing against a good team. And people are going to be jacked up for this game, but I think there's a recipe for this to be a slow, kind of a low-scoring game. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So I think it could be ugly and slow.
I like that. Any other final thoughts here before we move on to another 7 o'clock and probably one of my best bets here that I didn't mention at the top?
Nope.
Can you guys guess it for the 7 o'clock? Do you guys have a best bet for the 7 here?
I do, but I don't know if it's going to be.
I think it might be the same.
You say yours. Do you want to say yours first?
I have a 7:30 best bet, not 7 o'clock. Is your 7:30?
I'll start at 7. Southern Miss at home versus Liberty with Malik Willis gone. I think Liberty might be one of the worst teams in the league this year. We talked about Hawaii. We talked about Nevada. I think Liberty is right there with them, especially with people coming back. I was listening to a stat. If you do offensive usage rate, if that was a stat in college football, Willis would be the number 1 guy by like a mile last year.
Okay.
So that really swayed me, especially that they're -3.5 here, and it's solid. It hasn't moved at all. All of the money is on Southern Miss, and not even half a point did this thing move, which is really fishy. The money line also Southern Miss. So this is a good game for me. I'm taking 3.5 and the money line. Give me the hook, and I'm gonna be excited about Southern Miss. You guys have any thoughts here?
I think you're right. I didn't look at that game, but I think you're right. I mean, Willis was the entire team. I watched them a couple times last year, and everything revolved around him.
Yeah,
so without him there, I think they're gonna slip a lot.
I just wrote it down on my list of bets because I think it's a good one. I'm telling you with that.
Yeah, me too.
All right. I'm not going to – listen, I know I had the over for Vanderbilt at 2.5, which is absolutely egregious. They got to win. They got the win last week. They're playing Elon, which we all said is going to be their first – He said it's going to be their second win, their first win. And it could be their second win. They're -17.5. I honestly like it. I don't have public where the public is, but dude, I kind of like Vandy. I watched them last week. I had them last week. I went 2-1 last week. Vandy being the other one. I kind of like the 17.5. It's chalky though, but I like it. No thoughts here? Anything small? I figured you guys didn't. All right, Greg, you got a 7:30 for us?
I got 7:30. I got some 7 o'clocks though first too.
Okay, what do you got?
Give me Tulane over UMass. UMass stinks. They've stunk for a while. They got a new coach back who I think was at the program a few years ago. Tulane, I think, is pretty good. I think what are they? The Green Wave. I don't
29.
Yeah, 29 at home, hosting UMass.
That's a lot, dude.
It's a lot of points, but UMass, I'm telling you, stinks. And like I said, I think Tulane's pretty good. Let me pull them up real quick. I think last year they had a pretty good season. But yeah, I really do like them. At home to start the season, like I said, UMass, not what you would expect from a college football team. Last year, So it's a middle of the pack in most stats, but they had. Oh no, they did not have a good season last year. 2-10 record-wise, but 9-2 at home as a favorite. It's been a long time since Tulane's been a 28-point favorite. I think they're going to cover it.
Okay, yeah, 29.5. I mean, it's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. I'm taking 17.5 Vandy. Who am I to talk? I think Vandy's one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, I think UMass has a chance to improve, but I don't think they're going to improve week one going all the way traveling, from Boston or from Massachusetts down to New Orleans to play week one. I think that's a tough trip for a up-and-coming program. Also, 7 o'clock, I don't have any analytics on it. There's no spread even listed, so I don't know if I can find this game. But I think when we were talking about it in the previews, UAlbany plus 40 against Baylor.
I want it, baby.
Give it to me.
UAlbany.
Give it to me. I'll take 40 points. I don't care if we have to go to Baylor, So
anything. Start kneeling the ball down 37.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about one of our players transferring to Florida State last year. Programs on
He's good, by the way. He's good.
Yeah, he is.
Yo, he's official. I don't care if he's officially the white whale here. I need to interview him. UAlbany, Great Dane, on Florida State, chilling with Jermaine Johnson, getting sacks at Florida State. Gonna get drafted, hopefully. Let's go.
That would be incredible.
I'm down. Bet with my heart there. I'm so down. If that line shows up, I'm taking UAlbany. Anything over 40, I gotta take it for UAlbany, man. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I mean Jared versus his name.
Yeah, Jared versus.
Yep. So, yeah, give me Albany plus 40 on the road to kick off the season. I love it. And then what else do I have for 7 o'clock games? Actually, those are my only other 2 7 o'clock games. One of my best bets I did not mention at the start, but it's definitely going to be 7:30 Alabama first half. No line out yet, but whatever it is, I'll take it. I don't care if it's like 32. They're going to absolutely kill. I just had up whoever they were playing.
Utah State, no?
Is it Utah State? I thought it was like a no-name school.
Yeah, it's Utah State.
Utah State. All right, so a little bit better than what I expected.
It is a no-name school, but yeah, I mean the full spread's 41.5. I don't think first half is going to be.
You don't think it's going to be 30?
It's 27.5.
That's pretty close. Pretty close for a guy who didn't have in front of him. So.
Yeah, 27.5. 30. That would be a lot. It was 32. All right, yeah, I mean that's fair. Alabama first half's always a
27.5. All right, 4 touchdowns. That's a deal.
Yeah, you're going to be sweating it. It's going to be like 24, and it's going to be, it's going to be 24-0, and it's going to be okay. What are they going to do here? Kick a field goal or go for a touchdown?
That now I'm jogging my memory. I looked at so many games today. Utah State also. I had them last week, so this is a revenge pick of mine. Had them against Connecticut. And Connecticut looked good. Jim Moore had them ready to go. I did not know Jim Moore was coaching at UConn.
UConn is so bad. I can't believe how good they looked.
And Utah State could just not cover. So
yeah,
I think Alabama's just going to absolutely roll.
Sure. What's your 7:30?
That was my 7:30.
Oh, that is 7:30. Okay, Chip, what do you got here in the 7s and 7:30 that you like?
Okay, so my 7 o'clock that I really like. Miami of Ohio is playing Kentucky. I like the over 53.5 in that one. The over is 14-2 in Kentucky's last 16 non-conference games. So I really like the over there. And I like Miami of Ohio a lot. I think me and Greg both talked about how we like Miami to win the MAC. Yep. I really like their quarterback, Gabbert. I think they're maybe they're the second favorite actually now to win it, but everybody thinks Toledo's going to win. I think they're a good pick there.
What's the over in that one? Miami what?
Miami's plus 16.5, but the over is 53.5.
That's what you're taking?
That's what I got, yeah.
All right, well, I'm taking it too.
Yeah, I like that one. 7:30. Oh, Ohio State. I took Ohio State's team total. 37.5 it is on Barstool right now. It was 38.5. I think maybe FanDuel or DraftKings, whatever. I think they're just going to, no analysis needed. I think they're just going to light them up. I think, they have the best receivers in the country, maybe the best quarterback in the country, one of the best running backs in the country, rookie head coach. I don't know how good a coach Ryan Day is. No one does, because he just gets the best players. And what he inherited, he was born on third base, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever. He can just roll the ball out. He has that amazing offense. So I'm taking their team total over 37.5, and I'm going to pray that they're not up 4 touchdowns at halftime and they pull their starters.
Fair enough.
Because that would suck. Oh no, that's it. Are we doing after that like 8:00 games or whatever?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got for 8?
What do I got? Oh, I got Cuse against.
Yeah, I was about to say, but I don't know if you're like lobbing your alley-oop to yourself, Tracy McGrady style. Well, yeah, go ahead. Go off on Cuse.
I got Cuse money line against Louisville. They're 4.5, I think, dogs right now against Louisville. They're at home.
I have them at 4.5 as well.
Yeah,
4.5. And everyone's on Louisville.
Everyone's on Louisville. I've watched a couple of podcasts now where people have picked Louisville, and everybody likes. Some people like Louisville to have like a good year this year. I took them on the under. I think, Deadman Walken, Satterfield, their coach. I don't know. I like Cuse at home. Always plays well. Obviously, I'm high on Cuse. I'm very biased towards Cuse too. This is a must-win game for Cuse. This is huge for Louisville too, but I think being at home benefits Cuse a lot. I think they're so much better at home. I'm taking them money line. I think 4.5 is way too big. Yeah, I'm just bet. This is totally betting with my heart, by the way. I would not I'm taking Cuse money line, but yeah, Cuse money line at 8:00, and then 10.
Hold on. I have a really
okay.
I have a really good game at 8:00, and I really like this one. It might be one of my best bets. I think I'd have to throw it on the board. I might have to make a graphic here because I forgot to add Illinois to the beginning here. And I know it's a little chalky, but the line is moving in the correct way. It started Indiana -3.5, it's down to Indiana -1.5, and all the money is on Illinois, which makes sense. That's exactly how it should work. I think Illinois is bringing back one of the top teams in the nation, bringing back the most players. I feel like Illinois is on that list. Indiana absolutely sucks. Talk about a basketball school. I think Indiana is absolutely horrible. I think this might be a route for Illinois. But this is a fun one. 8:00 FS1. On the national broadcast, I'm going to want to bet it. I'm taking Illinois here. We had the ACC preview. We didn't talk too much about both of these teams, but Temple is absolutely horrific. I'm not saying Duke is great. I don't even, I'm not saying that, but Temple is so bad that I might take first half Duke. 9.5. It got bet up from 8 to 9.5. Feels like a lot. I'm gonna go first half Duke at -4. That feels good to me.
Duke was very rarely a favorite under Cutcliffe, but when they were like at home, they typically covered. So obviously it's a new coach now, but pretty much the same team.
Those little Michael Carter, Daniel Jones days.
Yeah. They play. They obviously when they were a favorite, they played bad teams. But I didn't know we were doing Friday games too with Illinois. I have Illinois money line too.
I know, but you just said 7:30, so I know it's on my 7:30 Friday card. So how I do it is I do it by time because I know that I fluctuate during the day. So I know that I'm like for example, I have Boise State at the 10:30 game. That's like a game right now, where I'm really excited about Boise, and I'm like kind of waiting to put that one in. Like I put it in already, but my real bet I want to wait because if I'm doing bad on Saturday, I'm gonna put a lot on Boise State +2.5, way more than I have right now. So I think they're gonna be dude. I think Oregon State's really bad, and I love Boise State. They have a lot of boys coming back as well.
Yeah, they do.
Man, I think they're gonna absolutely rat Oregon State. I think this is one of the games where Boise State puts their mark on it. It's ESPN game as well. I wish it was blue turf, but it's not. I think they were one of our favorites, in our previews. So I like Boise State getting the points here and definitely touching the money line to get rid of the vig. Anything else for the 10 o'clocks? What do you guys got for the night games to close us off here?
Kent State +23.5 against Washington.
Right,
I think that's way too much. Kent State went to the MAC championship last year. I know they didn't have a good start, but they closed strong. I don't think they're getting enough respect there. Sean Lewis is a great offensive coach, really smart. He's going to get a Power 5 job someday. Another MAC coach to get a Power 5 job. They play really fast, so I think that's going to help benefit them in the first game of the year. I don't know. It could be weird going out to the West Coast for a MAC team, but I don't know. I like them in that spot. I'm definitely going to watch that game. And I don't know about Washington, but I like Kent State. Watched them a lot last year.
All right, I got no thoughts on that game. I'm down. Washington stinks. Greg, what do you like?
Like I said, I gave out Clemson their Monday game. Kind of like Western Kentucky against Hawaii. Hawaii just showed me absolutely nothing last week.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky beat up on a bad team. Hawaii's a bad team. So, they're the midnight game. I don't hate it. So, that's the game I'm looking at late night. Game I missed, though, and, like I said, I was kind of scrambling putting this together. Maryland, Buffalo.
Oh, that's a noon.
That's a noon on Saturday.
What do you like there?
I like the spread in that one. I think it's 16.5. I wanted your guys' thoughts on it, though. I don't know, Chip, if you have any thoughts on Buffalo, or 24.5.
Terps is supposed to be good this year, huh?
They're one of my picks, man. I like the over on them. I think they have a really good offense. Buffalo is one of those teams where if I bet on them, they look like terrible. Then when I bet against them, they kill me. So I have a tough time with it. But 24.5 is a lot of points. But I do think that, again, if Maryland's going to show out this year, they're going to have to start fast. And the over under 65. So they're projecting points in this one. 65 is just too much.
All right. Anything else, Chip?
Maryland 4-0 against the spread in their last, and 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 non-conference games. That's something that I looked at because I remember looking at that one. Unfortunately, I don't have the schedule off the top of my head, but if I were betting on that one, I would take Maryland for sure because Buffalo stinks again. They've been so bad for a while now, and they were good, but I wouldn't bet on Buffalo. They were awful last year. Awful.
Yeah, they were. And again, I think Buffalo, I have here Buffalo 1-8-1 against the spread against non-ranked teams last 10 games they played. So even when they're getting points, most of the time they're not covering. So like I said, in Maryland, it's going to be a little hot. It's going to be ugly. Maryland offense has to show out. If you're not going to show out against Buffalo, who are you going to show out against? So
yeah. Tua's brother should light them up pretty good, I think.
Talia?
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that,
Yeah.
All right. Chip, you didn't mention the Ackies this weekend. You wrote a whole article.
Oh, my God. Well, it's Thursday.
I didn't want to bring it up. It is a Thursday game, so this is going to be out after the game. But
I know. But
who you got?
I need to hear about it.
Of course I'm betting Aggies, plus 37.5.
I was taking the money line.
I'll probably sprinkle some on it, to be honest. I probably will. But plus 37.5 for sure. Absolutely. These coaches hate each other. This is Jerry Kill revenge game. And
really hate each other.
Really do not like each other. It's gotten weird. If you look it up, it's weirdly personal between Jerry Kill and PJ Fleck. Like some of the insults Jerry Kill talks about, like PJ Fleck's ex-wife. It's like, whoa.
But I have a question. What do you think this is a reason that they might run up the score?
For sure. Yeah. For sure they might run up the score. I think that absolutely could happen. But I liked, and I know it was against a crap team last week with New Mexico State compared to who they're playing, but I don't know. I liked what I saw from New Mexico State's defense last week. And if New Mexico State hadn't started the quarterback Pavia they started last week, who looked atrocious, and started the kid they played the rest of the game, I think they would have had a chance to win that game. But
I have a gripe, though. There's literally I cannot find the money line for them. I'm looking everywhere right now. There's literally no posted money line. It's not on my website. It's not on FanDuel. You're in Jersey right now. Check Barstool for us. I'll check DraftKings while we end this off here, but I don't even see a money line for this game
it's
tonight.
not there. It's not there. By the way, it's down to 35.5, by the way.
We gotta get on it. Gotta get on it, folks. I know it's too late for you guys, but we're sitting here on Thursday. Probably gonna take it just for fun. Greg, have anything to end us off here? Anything we missed?
No, we're kind of talking Thursday games and stuff. Just for the record, I could throw it out there. West Virginia money line, Penn State under 53 against Purdue, Oklahoma State over 57 against Central Michigan, and Tennessee under 66.5 against Ball State.
I took the Tennessee spread here. They're up 7-0.
I did,
and then marching down
I had
the field.
the same as you. Oak State over and Penn State under. I'm the same as you.
All right, good. I like that. Also, too, Friday, Chip's team, Michigan State, Western Michigan.
I actually took Michigan State on Friday. Yeah,
really?
I know. Every fiber of my being didn't want me to do it, but I took them.
I have written down over 20.5, so that's definitely not right. So I don't know.
My game for Friday, I mentioned it before. I want to talk about 7:30 games is Duke because Temple stinks. And obviously Illinois over Indiana. I think that's an easy one too. But we didn't mention the TCU Colorado game. Colorado, one of our worst teams. I think we took under 5.5 for them.
Yeah.
I like TCU minus 14. So that about wraps that up.
Aren't they running like triple quarterback?
Colorado?
No,
Dude, it might be
TCU. Aren't they running like 2 or 3 quarterbacks at TCU, or am I making that up?
Ooh, maybe.
As we get into the last couple
it's
minutes.
also It's also Dykes' first game as a coach. I think he's a great coach.
They do have a quarterback shuffle here.
Yeah, I think
I took the over.
Number one.
I took the over in that one. I didn't take this.
Dude, trust in Sonny Dykes, bro. Colorado sucks.
Colorado does suck. I think TCU is a much better team, but I don't know if it could be weird starting off. And
all right, so I have Western Michigan Friday, 20.5. Chip, fun fact for you: Michigan State 1-9 at home as a favorite of 20 or more. So give me Western Michigan. Yeah, they're MAC, right? They're one of the MAC teams.
They are. I hate betting against the MAC.
Give me the MAC.
Against the MAC. Hated it when I did it, but
that's crazy. I thought you were gonna be all over Western Michigan.
Western Michigan played at East Lansing in 2019, I believe it was, and got waxed 51-17. And then they played them in 2017 too and lost 28-14. Same coach with Western Michigan.
All right, a little revenge game. Let's go. Hold it to under 3 touchdowns.
We'll see.
West Virginia blue on. Let's go West Virginia. We'll see you guys next week, I guess, right?
All right.
John, wrap us up.
Yeah, dude, that wraps it up, man. Hell of a college week 1 slate. Yeah, best bets in the beginning, best bets in between, and best bets at night. In this podcast. You know what to do. Hit us up on Knicks, Jets, etc. period on YouTube. Our Jets are there. We're talking about roster cuts and the week 1 previews coming up. We got Donovan Mitchell preview and aftermath on the Knicks feed. And, of course, previews for all the conferences, which you got to get in quick. For college, we got the AFC, NFC for NFL with all the futures. Here's the week 1 slate, and then we have the week 1 NFL slate coming through. As always, Chip writing about the crazy underdog college football stories. Check those out. Chip Murphy 7 on Twitter. Winning Pete Weekly on Twitter for our picks.
I'll for sure have some stuff out this weekend for sure.
We'll be dropping everything. So yeah, that's about it. Apple, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. We appreciate it. We out.
Let us know in the comments who you guys are taking.